Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Is LeBron James playing? Lakers full injury report versus Kings revealed. Ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers matchup with the Sacramento Kings on Thursday, Los Angeles has a long injury report once again. 8 total players are listed on the report in the initial list, with both LeBron James and Anthony Davis listed. Davis is listed as probable for the game as he deals with left plantar fasciitis. As for James, he is currently listed as questionable for the contest as he deals with a nagging left foot injury. It seems likely that Davis will at least play in this game, with James being a wild card up to the game start. But the Lakers have been off for a few days, likely giving James more rest time in between games. James will likely be playing in this game against the Kings. James missed 2 games due to this injury but did return against the Memphis Grizzlies last week. The veteran forward helped Los Angeles pick up a much-needed win over a solid Memphis team, so he will look to do the same here against Sacramento. Los Angeles will be getting back to a normal schedule in the NBA as the NBA Cup games are now over for the season. It was a nice break for the Lakers, giving the players some extra rest midway through the long season. But it's time that the team gets back into form and now have their eyes set on the postseason. While the playoffs are still a little ways away, Los Angeles is determined to get back to the playoffs to go on another title run. This team believes that they can compete with the other elite teams in the NBA if they can get into the postseason healthy. But the Lakers will also need to add more talent to the roster if they want to field a competitive team. The Lakers are expected to be one of the more active teams ahead of the NBA trade deadline next year. If the front office can provide this roster with some upgrades, they may be able to go on another run. But if Los Angeles doesn't make any moves, it could result in them seeing another wasted season with their star duo. Magic Johnson reveals why Lakers passed on Jayson Tatum. After watching their Boston foes win the race to banner 18 thanks to a superstar that their team passed on in the 2017 NBA draft, Lakers fans have felt their team fall behind in the sport's biggest rivalry. Sensing the fanbase's growing frustration at the divergent paths the two franchises have taken recently, former Lakers president and Hall of Fame point guard Magic Johnson attempted to justify the team's decision not to select Jayson Tatum with the number 2 overall pick 7 years ago. His explanation instead only poured fuel on the fire. Johnson expressed that since the Lakers had Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, and Larry Nance Jr. on the team at the time, they didn't have room to add another forward to that collection of players. There are several glaring problems here. First of all, none of the players mentioned remained on the Lakers, and they certainly were not talents worth keeping over such a highly touted prospect. Yes, Randle and Ingram found success, but that came primarily elsewhere, and neither reached the status Tatum has reached. Los Angeles easily could have traded one of them away for draft capital if they saw the same potential that drove the Celtics to select him 1 pick later. It also would have cleared the log jam that they saw at the forward position, a log jam that should not matter as much in a sport where positions are more fluid than in other sports. Having too many forwards is not nearly the same as having too many first basemen in baseball or too many goalies in hockey. Additionally, Johnson completely ignored the fact that the Lakers were sold on Lonzo Ball. If the Lakers were threatening to take the Celtics' top target, then Boston would not have agreed to trade down from the number 1 spot and risk Los Angeles swiping him. The team's interest in Ball was no secret to executives at the time, which is a far more likely reason that they did not check in on Tatum. As for Johnson's sudden recollection of Tatum's agent's role in the matter, that seems the least likely explanation of all. If Tatum's camp really withheld him from working out for his idol Kobe Bryant's team, then why would Tatum have recently expressed frustration that the Lakers did not check up on him? After all, that is what started the entire discussion. Much of this frustration for Tatum and company was sure to have melted away quickly once he settled in as the face of the franchise and won his first ring last season. Celtics brass and fans alike are more than thrilled with how the 2017 NBA draft played out, with Tatum becoming by far the most successful player from the class. As for Lakers fans, they are left to assess the credibility of Johnson's comments and imagine how different the state of the rivalry would be if different decisions were made. LeBron James makes NBA history in Lakers Kings. The Sacramento Kings are hosting the Los Angeles Lakers for 2 consecutive games on Thursday and Saturday. The Lakers and Kings have both been underwhelming so far this season, sitting in 4th and 5th place in the Pacific Division, respectively. These two squads struggling makes their consecutive matchups even more important, as both teams desperately need to find their rhythm and get back on track. In Thursday's meeting, the Lakers jumped out to a 9-point lead at the end of the first quarter, led by a dominating performance from their starting 5. Lakers stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis have already dominated the Kings once this season in LA, but Sacramento is certainly looking to limit them and defend their home court. During Thursday's meeting in Sacramento, Lakers superstar and argued NBA GOAT LeBron James surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most regular season minutes played in league history. James now holds the NBA record for most points and minutes played, 2 of the league's most prestigious marks. The 39-year-old forward is in his 22nd NBA season, sitting in 5th place for the most games played in NBA history. James' longevity and constant dominance are unheard of in this league. James went into Thursday's matchup with an injury designation as he manages a foot issue, but was able to suit up and make NBA history. The Lakers are 14-12 on the season heading into the weekend series in Sacramento, while the Kings could use the 2 wins over LA to get back above .500 for the first time in over a month. The Lakers superstar tends to lose games where he sets an NBA record or career milestone, so watch out for the Kings to pick up the win on Thursday. Lakers stars poised for All-Star selection. NBA All-Star voting has officially begun, with Lakers stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis likely to represent Los Angeles at Chase Center on February 16. But this year's format brings significant changes that are already drawing criticism from players. The NBA is scrapping the traditional East versus West setup in favor of a tournament concept. The 24 selected All-Stars will be divided into 3 8-player teams, with the Rising Stars game winners forming the 4th team. Semifinals will be played to 40 points, with the championship game using a 25-point target score. Davis, potentially heading to his 10th All-Star appearance, hasn't minced words about the new format. "I don't really like it," Davis said. 2 teams. "If anything, go back to East and West. But the 4 teams and multiple games and all that stuff, I don't think a lot of players are going to like that." Fans can vote daily through January 20th using the NBA app or nba.com/vote with an NBA ID. The league has designated 6 triple vote days: December 21st, December 25th, January 3rd, January 10th, January 17th, and January 20th. While player reaction remains mixed, the NBA's brightest stars, including Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, and Jason Tatum, will still converge on San Francisco for the weekend's festivities. The All-Star Game remains a showcase for the NBA's elite talent. Whether Davis and James support the changes or not, both Lakers stars appear headed for another selection as fan voting begins. The real test will come in February, when we see if the tournament concept can deliver the competitive edge the NBA seeks. Lakers must avoid going down same path Denver Nuggets are rumored to be pursuing. The Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Lakers are eerily similar teams. Both have won championships since 2020, each made an additional trip to the Western Conference Finals during that time, and the top player on both squads is a big man who's destined to be in the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, they're also 2 teams that have invested heavily in their current core, have question marks surrounding their number 2 players, and are now looking for in-season trades to fix their issues. For as similar as the Lakers and Nuggets are, the key difference must be established during the 2024-25 season. More specifically, it must be thoroughly proven how different the two sides are ahead of the 2025 NBA trade deadline, which Denver already has a plan for. According to Tony James and Sam Amick of The Athletic, the Nuggets are interested in improving their roster by acquiring a high-level scoring threat. As a result, the Nuggets have either expressed interest in, or have had preliminary trade discussions on the following players: Chicago's Zach LaVine, Washington's Jordan Poole, Utah's Jordan Clarkson, Atlanta's DeAndre Hunter, Brooklyn's Cam Johnson and Washington's Jonas Valanciunas. It's understandable for Denver to be vying for a player who can provide consistent offense, but the Lakers must not allow this report to force them to lose focus on the bigger picture. Keeping up with the Nuggets has become an unofficial goal for the Lakers. They've met in the playoffs on 3 different occasions since 2020, with Denver winning the past 2 series by a devastating margin of 8-1. For as tempting as it would be for the Lakers to try to keep pace with the team they can't overcome by adding a piece to match whatever the Nuggets acquire, they must avoid that temptation. For as similar as they may be, Denver and Los Angeles simply have different needs. Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic have all but incomparable strengths and weaknesses, the supporting cast operates in a functionally dissimilar manner, and the long-term outlook for both franchises varies. Denver is pondering whether or not Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. can be the scorers they're paid to be, while Los Angeles desperately needs to find a path to improvement on defense. The Nuggets have their own issues on defense, but they rank number 15 in defensive rating, while the Lakers are number 24. Furthermore, Jokic is a walking bucket who can create at will for himself and others, but Denver is concerned they can't adequately support him on offense. Los Angeles should view their own situation in a similar, but decidedly different light. Davis is one of the best defensive players in the world, yet his supporting cast has been nothing short of abhorrent. Supporting the strengths and weaknesses of the franchise player is the name of the game in team building. Pretending they're identical for the sake of defeating a rival would be tantamount to sacrificing Davis's championship ambitions in Los Angeles. It's easy to confuse keeping pace with a rival with making identical improvements, but the Lakers must remember that they have different needs than the Nuggets if they're going to achieve meaningful growth. Lakers could land Grizzlies star guard in massive trade proposal. The Los Angeles Lakers are expected to be one of the more active teams ahead of the NBA trade deadline next year. Los Angeles has been hovering around or just slightly above the .500 mark in the standings for some time now, and may need to make a trade to truly contend. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis still on the roster, the Lakers believe that another title run could be in the cards. But in order for that to occur, Los Angeles will need to upgrade the talent level around the two stars. The Lakers have been linked to multiple players ahead of the trade deadline, much like any other season. But with limited resources to spend in any trade, Los Angeles will need to be creative to get anything substantial done. The biggest areas that the Lakers need help with are in the front court and on defense. Los Angeles has seen a drop in their defensive abilities over the past few years and hasn't recouped much talent. But in a new trade scenario, Los Angeles lands a former Defensive Player of the Year. The deal would be between the Lakers and Memphis Grizzlies, sending guard Marcus Smart out west. Lakers receive guard Marcus Smart. Grizzlies receive guard D'Angelo Russell, guard Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2029 first-round draft pick, and 2 2025 second-round draft picks. Landing Smart would be intriguing for the Lakers as he would give them a true point-of-attack defender. Los Angeles brought guard Gabe Vincent in to play that role, but to this point, Vincent hasn't lived up to the promise. Smart could be a solid addition to this team, helping them be more effective on the defensive end of the floor. For the year, Smart has averaged 9.2 points, 2.5 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. While he is having a down year from beyond the three-point line, Smart has shown the ability to hit three-pointers at a high rate in the past. Smart would cost Los Angeles at least one first-round pick, but adding him to the team could be worth it. The Lakers have a lot of work to do before the trade deadline and will need to exhaust all options. This is just one idea that could turn them into more formidable contenders to go after the championship this season. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Marcus Smart? Leave your opinion in the comments.